Greetings, salutations. Happy Monday in February. Can you believe it? February 2nd, 2026. And we are still, at least here, in the throes of the deep winter. Let's see, it's 15 degrees Fahrenheit at this moment. And it is negative 10 degrees Celsius, to put that in perspective. So, it's been just continuing to be pretty brutally cold, and looks like it's going to stay this way for the foreseeable future until Wednesday. There's a little bit of hope. Next week, Wednesday, it will go apparently above freezing, which couldn't come soon enough for people around here because the snow looked cute in the beginning. It was fluffy, it was white, and then over time, turned into something else. Now, in Manhattan, the snow is largely black and just piled up in piles and kind of blocking the lanes for bikes and things like that. And right outside of our building, it's just, and I suppose this is true in Manhattan too, but the yellow spots. I mean, all the dogs have visited. Let's just put it this way. It is not appealing to look at anymore. The cuteness, the beauty was a few days max, and then it's turned into something else. So we'll be happy when that is melted and spring is on its way. And speaking of spring, let's see. I think we've only got 40 something days, 45 days until the first day of spring. And yes, am I counting it down? You're damn right, I'm counting it down, and I will continue to do so. On this day in 1913, Grand Central Terminal, the great train station of New York City, opened, and over 150,000 people visited on that opening day. And right now I'm reading 1929 about the crash, Andrew Ross Sorkin's book. And of course, that was 1929. So that would have been, 16 years prior to the crash was when the terminal opened. So it's one of the things about the book is it takes you back to that era and does a great job of telling the narrative of, how people were living, at least especially in high society or in the banking and finance world. But it talks a lot about New York and Manhattan specifically, because of course this is where a lot of these people lived or had a home, and the scene, the primary set piece was Manhattan. And so it's a really interesting way to sort of learn about the city through that historical context. So I've been really, really enjoying that book, reading it faster than average. I've always got multiple books going, and they're slow going. I'm also reading Hemingway for Whom the Bell Tolls, and I'm 43% finished. Slow going. That book for me, I'm enjoying it, but maybe it's Hemingway's writing. I mean, he doesn't throw away anything. It's all for a purpose. Every word matters, which is great and brilliant. It's pretty dense, and so maybe that's why I'm reading it more slowly. Maybe I should treat it like something I should just savor over a year. Yeah, I think I just reframed that. That's pretty cool. So for the week, what do we got? I mean, it's another week. It's February, which again still blows my mind. I've got a great new client I'm working with, and I'm excited to meet with her, and working on all the other pillars of the business. And it can be overwhelming. I have a new calendar that I'm working with as well, and I've designed my calendar with great specificity and intention, and I'm really, really excited about that. So that has already shifted my thinking about my week. I realized what I was doing was I was kind of too open-ended on when I could schedule meetings, and it was interrupting my flow. So in order to get into a really good concentration mindset, I need a block of time. I need space to do that. Now, maybe everybody's different, but for me, I can't schedule a half an hour and then do deep work for a half an hour. That's not how it works. Deep work requires, for me, longer than an hour. And so when I was allowing these meetings that were, not exactly long to get put on my calendar through my calendar link, it's not like people were doing this to me. I mean, I made it available. And then you'd have meetings pop up when you offer them, and they kind of break up the day. Well, if I were punching out widgets and I could just stop the conveyor belt, that would be one thing. But the nature of my work is not that. It is there needs to be enough what you might call thinking time, which is also doing time. And sometimes I need larger margins. So now I've created this beautiful overlay for my calendar that keeps me, it's like bumpers on a bowling lane. It keeps me from going off the lane. And I'm already feeling incredible relief being more intentional with my calendar. So it's something I've known about for a long time, but for whatever reason, it wasn't going to work until now for me. And I've been already super excited about that. So lots of exciting things happening. And another exciting development is the show, the main show. I've actually got 2 shows coming up, and you might say, okay, you're already deluding yourself. You're too crazy. It's too many things. But no, it all makes sense. But I had an incredible meeting last week where I got further clear on the show and the show name. And believe it or not, the show name has changed again. Thank goodness I haven't announced anything. But I've got a great name for this show and an even more refined explanation of the purpose. So that happened Friday. Artwork is coming. When the artwork is ready, I'll start making announcements. So that's all I'm going to say, because you're on the inside, you're listening, you're one of the inner circle. That's really what's going on. But on all the other platforms and everything, I'll start rolling things out once we have some artwork and I get the definition of the show, sort of the description of the show, its purpose, even more specifically refined. But I am really excited about the direction. And then I have a collaboration project that's also a show that's going to be on LinkedIn, specifically natively on LinkedIn. That is going to be so fun and exciting, and I cannot wait to invite you to join us on LinkedIn for myself and a co-host doing some really fun stuff. So good stuff coming up. I guess that's really my main point, is it's all going on. And so what I'm working on with these shows and with the services, working with founders and CEOs, is to try and do as little outside of that as is necessary. And the more focused, the more refined, I'm narrowing my aperture and picking up velocity, but I also just need to keep things really as simple as possible. And so we'll see how that goes. It feels like maybe I'm not right now, but I am. I'm actually reducing down my focus and, with whom I'm meeting and everything's kind of coming back to the same purpose, which I'm excited. But it's still a work in progress. Not there yet, but we're putting down the pillars. So, question for this week is, how can I further refine and do less to accomplish more? That's the question on my mind. I hope that helps you. Thanks as always for listening. I really do appreciate it. And every time I think about stopping, I have some interaction with someone out there who says, I listened to your thing. Oh, I love that you read that poem, or that point you made the other day totally resonated. I even went to a building in New York yesterday on Friday and ran into someone who runs security, who's been listening to my show, and said, I don't remember what episode it was, but it really nailed it for me that day, and she was telling me some details about it. And I thought, okay, shout out to you, Nicole. Shout out to you. And that keeps me going. That really inspires me that people are listening and getting some value out of it. And I really do it for myself. But the part for me it's also for me to know that it is helping others. That's the virtuous cycle of the whole thing. So got to give it to keep it, I guess. So with that, I'll wish you a wonderful Monday. Thanks as always for listening. Be good to yourself and others, and we'll check back again with you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.